Hello there, dear listeners. I'm Paul, your host, and I've got a tale that will tingle your spine and have your imagination running wild. Gather around as I unfold a story sent in by a listener just like you. A story of mysterious beings from a place beyond our wildest dreams. So are you ready to dive into the unknown? Let's go. Shadowy silhouettes and sinister giggles. One evening in the historic city of Vigan, our friend Pedro decided to take a stroll back to the bus terminal after a night out with pals. Vigan, known for its cobblestone streets and antique houses, has a way of making you feel like you've stepped back in time. That night, Pedro felt it more than ever. As the balmy night wrapped around him, Pedro realized he was lost. He wandered the empty streets, hoping to find someone to point him towards the bus terminal. But the city was silent, the way a classroom gets when the teacher steps out for a moment, leaving only the sound of your own thoughts. Pedro felt a shiver of uneasiness. You know, that same feeling you get when you think you might be the last kid waiting to be picked up after school. It was then, in the dim light cast by occasional street lamps, that Pedro saw something odd. He caught a glimpse of a shadow darting behind a lamppost, as if playing a game of hide and seek. Pedro thought the best thing to do was to ignore it. In his mind, if he didn't see it, it wouldn't see him. But then there was a laugh, a strange high laugh that sounded like it didn't belong to this world. Pedro turned around once more, and there it was. A tall, slender figure bounded towards him in silent, giant hops. It wore a suit as dark as the night and seemed to move like a puppet on invisible strings. Pedro couldn't see its face, but there was something about it that kept him rooted to the spot, eyes wide with astonishment. Before he could gather his courage to run away, the figure let out another strange laugh, squatted down, and suddenly leapt up, disappearing into the shadows. It happened so fast, all Pedro could do was run as quickly as his legs would carry him until he reached the lit-up main road. He didn't stop until he was safely on the bus heading home. The next day, a search on the internet led him to tales of a spring-heeled Jack, a character of old legends known for his extraordinary leaps. A little lesson for us all. So listeners, what can we learn from Pedro's strange encounter with the leaping stranger of Vigan? It's simple. The world is full of mysteries, some scarier than others. But remember, even when we come face to face with the unknown, we can't let fear keep us from moving forward. Sometimes, a good run is all it takes to get to safety, and sometimes a good story is all it takes to turn a scare into a share. Until our next story, keep your eyes open, your minds ready for adventure, and your hearts brave. Who knows? The next tale might be yours. Stay curious and keep listening to more stories here on Stories Philippines podcast. Good night, everyone.